Hey everyone, it's Kabir here. So in this session, we are going to understand more concepts in the Bootstrap. In last sessions, we understood what are cards, how can we display the card in vertical, in horizontal way, all that concepts, right? Now today, we are going to understand the concept called typography. Now what is typography? Now typography is nothing but like by default, we are going to get some tags in HTML. So to increase our font size or the text, right? Now if you write in H1 by default, you are going to get some stylings for that, some kind of font size, it's a bold, okay, everything. If you wanted to change it in CSS, then we have the properties, right? We have the font weight, we have the font size, right? We have the font style, you have different. Now the same thing if I wanted to apply in the Bootstrap, so what we have to do? So let's start. So I'm going to create a file called 04, something like uh, typography. Okay, fine. Then I'm gonna say as a .html. Fine. Okay, just um, guys, just a minute. Yeah, like we are going to understand about the typography. So what the typography, some operations we are going to perform on the text. Like we are going to display some paragraphs, something, some heading. So how can we do some operations on that? Okay, using the Bootstrap, nothing, but we are going to apply some classes to that particular elements of the HTML. Now, when it comes to our Bootstrap, I have prepared one skeleton.html where I have just given a basic skeleton of our HTML user, and I have linked the Bootstrap file so that it will be very easy. Unnecessarily, we no need to do 1 second that thing. So I'm going to select copy. Okay, fine. Now comes to our the fourth file. Okay, here. Now let me remove it. Okay, fine. I'm going to paste it. Fine. Now here, just consider if I write something like H1, I'm going to say typography. Okay, now in the same way I'm going to display some content. So here I'm going to say something like H4 tab, and let me say something like ismart edutech. Fine. Now save it. Now once if you come to your browser and just see how it is going to be displayed. Now this is how it is displaying. Now I want this typography should be in the middle. So just I need only one property. So I'm going for the inline styling. So it will be like styling equals to text align center. Fine. Now if you observe, your H1 size is this one, your H4, right? We wrote H4. Yeah, H4 size is this one, right? By default we are getting this kind of size. Now text align center. Now come here and just refresh. Now you are able to see it is in the center. Fine. Now I wanted to increase that particular size, so we can use the CSS, but in Bootstrap we have some classes. The classes is like display1, display2, display3, display4. So let us see how it is going to look like. Now coming to the code, I'm going to just write class equals to something. In H4, it's very simple. Class equals to display1. Now this is a predefined class, right? In the same way, I'm going to copy and I'm going to mention few more classes. So just copy. Yeah, copied. Now I'm going to change from display1 to display2, then display3, then display4. And if you want still, let me keep H4 as it as well as. So this time I don't want it to give any class to the H4, so you can compare it, right? And let me give one more like display5. Okay, fine. Now save it. Now comes to your browser, refresh it. Now see how you are getting. By default, the size of your H4 is this size, right? This style of the font as well. Now, when you use this display1, the size became more bigger and little bit bold as well. This is a display2, display3, display4, and display5. Now display5 and this H5 looking same because display5 doesn't exist. So the value of display4 displays are from 1 to 4. So that's it. So we have to remove it. Now save it. Now this one is like same like your h1 h2, but it will give more bigger sizes. In the same way, we have more classes, like I'm gonna say p. This time I will say something like lorem 10 tab. Now we have some classes like class equals to h1. Now we have the tag h1, but in Bootstrap we have the class called h1 as well. So I'm going to copy this and just paste it. Now this time it will be h2. Then we have something like h3. Now this time h4. We have something like h5. Then we have h6 as well. Now just change the value from h3. It should be h6. It should be h4. And it should be h5. Now just see how it is going to look. Now here, let me give p lorem 10 tab. Okay, and let me give some hr tag. Now if you see, now this is what your h1 class, h2 class, h3, h4, h5, h6. So we have from h1 to h6. In display you have display 1, display 2, display 3, display 4, and this is nothing but by default this is your paragraph. This is about your few concepts, few classes you have which you can perform on your particular texts. So we know display 1, 2, 3, 4 and h1 to h6, and few more we have. We can give something like lead and text muted. So let's see how can we give. So coming here, coming to our code. Now here, let me give hr. Now this time I'm gonna say p lorem something like 50 tab, right? And by default, if you see what is the size of that p. Now if you come down, now this is what the size of your p, right? By default. Now I wanted to increase this font size, right? So we have a class called lead. So what I'm gonna do, just come here, just say class equals to lead. Now just see our output, how it is going to look like. Yes, now it has increased, right? Now let me do one thing. Let me come here and let me give a style tag. Let me say body height 5000 pixel. Now save and come here. Now you got some height, right? Now we can see output easily. Now by using the lead, our text size or a font size has been increased. So this is the lead, and one more we have. So let me show you one more. That is text muted. Now just see the difference between this and this, right? So here, just say p class equals to lead and text muted. Now this text muted is very important, guys. You will see in so many websites, or if you wanted to design, you can do. Now just see how it is going to look like. Now if I refresh it, now this is your text muted. Now the little bit light color and it is bit dark. Now this is your lead and this is your lead plus text muted, and apart from that you saw class h1 from h1 to h6, and this is nothing but by default we got something like a p, and these are nothing but your display 1, display 2, display 3, display 4. That's about your things. See, Bootstrap is very easy. Just here you have to understand the classes and you should know what this class does, right? Now then according to your project, what styling you required that you have to use. Now just compare. Now just analyze, guys. Now this lead text is there, right? If you want to do this kind of stylings in your CSS, then what you have to do? You have to think the text color, you have to increase the font size, right? You have to write something 3 to 4 properties and you have to think it, right? But Bootstrap is providing just one name, just two names like lead and text method, and you're getting this kind of style. That is the power of Bootstrap, but it doesn't mean CSS is low. You have to be very good, very strong in CSS. Bootstrap is just a support for you guys, so that you can develop your project or your code very fast using Bootstrap. That's the benefit you get, and Bootstrap is going to take care of responsiveness. Or else if you write the CSS, you have to externally take the or explicitly take the care of your responsiveness as well. So we are pending 3 concepts that I'm going to explain very soon in the CSS. So as of now these are the concepts, right? In the same way in CSS, how we can increase our font size, right? Font weight, that also we have some predefined classes in the Bootstrap. Now for bold, it's font weight bold. For normal, it's font weight normal, italic font italic, then text upper, text lowercase, and capitalized. So let's see how it is going to look like. So for that, what I'm going to do, come here in the code. Now let me come here and let me enter something. Okay, fine. Now let me use some HR. Okay, fine. Now let me write something like P lorem 10 tab. Now if I want to make a bold, so for that we have a class called font weight bold. In the same way, I want to make normal, then we have the normal. So I'm just gonna copy it, come here and just paste. This time it would be normal, and if you want italic, just remove this word weight. It will be italic. Paste it. Now comes to your browser, just refresh it. Now see, now it is bold. Now this is normal. Now this is italic. Now such kind of stylings you can do using the Bootstrap. It is very easy. I know, that's why I'm going very fast, because already you're familiar with this things. Now I want text lower, upper cases, all that things. So let me come here near our file, and this time let me say something like, let me copy this thing, let me paste here, then let me take something like H4, and this time I'm going to say smart edutech, and here class will be text upper case. In the same way, let me copy this and paste 2 times, and this time I'm going to say text should be lowercase and it has capitalized. Let me come here and let me see. Yeah, now it's working. Now this is uppercase completely, this is lowercase completely. It is a capitalized, means each word first letter will be capital. I is capital, E is capital, T is capital. So these are 2 things, and these 2 lines are, you know, right, HR. So in the same way, let me copy this and keep here. So these are the things like you guys have to remember. Even if you forget, don't worry, you should at least know, okay, we can do like this, and you can go to the get Bootstrap official document and you can see the syntax or else what is the class name. Okay, it's not compulsory everything you have to remember, but when you start practicing, when you start using it, automatically it is going to fit in your mind. So even if you forget, don't worry. Okay, just we have to go and we have to just check what is the syntax, what is the class name. Just you have to know, okay, this thing can be done in the Bootstrap. If you know this one, then you can go any website and you can search what is the exact class name for that, right? In the same way, now how we can give the colors, right? For the text, if I wanted to give color, we have the property like color property, and we can give some values, right? RGB values or some name of the color. In the same way, Bootstrap is going to provide some set of colors to you, and that colors name are nothing but text primary, secondary, warning, danger, dark. Okay, still we have so many, something like text success. We have danger, warning, secondary, primary, text info. So we have some set of colors, right guys? So let's see how it is going to look like. Now let me come here. Now let me say this time P, and I will be saying something like lorem 10 tab. Now class equals to text, class equals to text primary. Now save it. Now come here, copy this one, just paste 1, 2, 3, something. Okay, now this time it would be secondary, and it would be warning, it would be info, it would be light, we have something like danger. Now let's see how it is going to look like. Now we got, right, lorem, this color, this primary, secondary, this is your warning, light, danger, all these colors you can give. This is the set of colors which has been provided by your Bootstrap people, and this is a predefined, right guys? Now let's try to perform something. So I'm going to say 05 some practice dot html. Okay, fine. Now I want the skeleton, so just copy from here and come here, just paste it. Okay, fine. Now just consider I want some heading, right? So heading should be h2. Okay, now this time I'm gonna say something like ismart edutech. Now some stylings I wanted to use, so from Bootstrap, so class I want it should be in center, right? So let's write text center. We have a class called text center. So let me see how it is going to look like now. Now text is center, right? Now I want to change the color of the text. So I will be giving something like text primary, that would be best. And let me say display 4. Then apart from that, let me say something more like font weight should be bold. Okay, now just see how it's going to look like. Now we got something like this, right? Now apart from that, let me take it as h4 instead of h2. Save it. Now what still we can give? Text center, text primary, display, font weight, bold. Let's see what can we give more. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Let me give this many. Now I want a paragraph. So what would be the paragraph? Let me say one paragraph. So it would be something like lorem 70 tab. Okay, something we got. Now this paragraph class should be lead text info something. Now if you see here, now we got something like this, right? Now I want to keep this everything in the div. So what I will do, I will create a div. Now inside div, this I want to keep these things inside a div. So copy, remove, and just paste here. So we have pasted. Now for div, I want to give some color. Now guys, how we are giving the color for the text as text primary, in the same way, if you want to give the color in the background, for that we have something like bg primary, bg info, some predefined set of the same values what we have for the text. Just the difference is there is a text primary, here it will be the bg primary. So I wanted to give something like warning. Okay, now see how it is going to look like. Now we got some text background, right guys? Now let me change it to danger. Now something like this we got, right guys? Now just think, we are not getting any margin, we are not getting any padding. So let me give some margin for this div. So to give the margin, we have the value called yum hyphen, and you can give the value from 1 to 5. If you want to give for only top, then yum t hyphen. If you want to give for bottom, yum b hyphen value. If you want to give the value for the right, mr ml. And in the same way for x-axis, mx 1 to 5 value, and my for top and the bottom. The same thing what the concepts we have in the CSS in the same way. So this time I'm going to say yum, it means apply for all, and I will be saying something like 5. Now let's see how it is going to look like. Now we got some margin, right? Now this color is not looking that great. So let me try to change the color from primary to something like secondary. Now we got something like this, right? Now I want some padding inside the div. So what we can do, just give some padding as well. So this time I'm say p hyphen 2, and this padding will be same as for margin. Like if you want to give padding from the top, pt pb nothing but bottom, pr padding right side, and pl px py. Okay, now just I'm gonna save it. Now we got some padding, right? Now what I wanted to do, I want, instead of text, I want to make it as muted. Now if you see how it is going to look like, now it is looking like something like this. Now if you want to change the background color from danger to light, now see how it is going to look like. Now we got something like this, right guys? In the same way, I wanted to create one button. So if you want to create button, we have button, and we know some classes in the button since we saw some sessions, btn primary. And this time I'm gonna say read more. Save it, comes to your browser, and just check how it is going to look like. Now we got a button here as well. ISMART edutech read. Now this is how we can do some stylings using the Bootstrap, right? Now if you wanted to create one more div, now just copy from here, right? Paste. So you are going to get, and just change the color from light to make it as a dark. Just now you got some stylings, right? Now this is how we can build some kind of div kind of things, right? Now if you wanted to do more stylings, you can do, you are welcomed, right? So these things we can do in the Bootstrap. So now we understood some of the classes, right? Uppercase, text, all this primary. Now text center, for the text center, now we have the color like text wise as well. So instead of here, it should be here, text white. Okay, it should be text white. Save it. Now these are the notes, guys, that I'm going to send you guys, so you can download all these files and everything. And we saw the margin, right, and padding as well. So the values are from 0 to 5. If you give m-10, then it is not going to work. So try to do some such kind of experiments so that it will increase your analyzation skills, plus you will understand the subject in deep. Okay, now we have some concepts like called alert. Now what are alerts? Sometimes we get a requirement where we have to give some alert messages, like you are registering a user, right? You have a sign up page. Now you are telling the client to enter his details and get registered for your website. So once he have entered his details and clicked on the register button, then you have to show the message something like, yes, you have registered, or some congratulations, or something, some message you wanted to give, some alert you wanted to give, like if someone logins, you can say login successfully. If something happens, like he didn't log in properly, then check the password, some kind of alert messages you wanted to give. Now you wanted to perform some operations on that as well now. So for that we have some classes from the Bootstrap. So let's see that classes how it is. So I'm coming here, so I will be saying 06 alerts dot html, right? Now come to our skeleton, copy, let me close these two things, paste. Fine. Now what I wanted to do, alerts. Now some alerts, right? So how can we give some alerts? So I'm taking one div. Okay, in this div I'm saying something like p, and this time class equals to some h4. Now this time I'm taking a class h4. Now something like registered successfully, some kind of message, right? Now if you want to give, then we have to give some classes like alert. Okay, then in the same way how we have the colors, in the same way we can give some colors as well, like alert primary, something like this, right? The values will be same, primary, secondary, successful, all that, just the name will be changed. It is like alert info, something like this. Okay, now I wanted to give some padding as well, so I will be saying like p-1. Now let's see how it is going to look like. Come to your browser by default. Now this is how you're getting, right? Now we want some background color as well. So for div, let me give class equals to some bg dark, and this time let me change the color, it as a info. Now we got something like this, right? Now we want some padding, so let me give some margin would be something like 3. Come here and just see how it is going to look like. Now this is how it is looking like. Now you want this one in the center, then just see the text should be in center, text center. And let me give some padding inside this p, so that I will be giving something like pad 3, p3. Okay, so you have to like take care of spaces as well, guys. If you want to use spaces, then it is like you will get some error. Like now this padding is more rise, so let me change it to 1. Fine. Now see, you are getting some alert, right? This is how you can get something like alert messages, register successfully. Or now you can decrease this width because we took the div, that's why it is coming complete, right? Now you can remove the width and you can see. So for example, I'm giving something like here, and this time let's see how it is going to look like. Now this is how it is looking. It is taking complete because we are giving inside the p. Even p will take your complete width, means it is a block element. Okay, this is how we have to do. In the same way, alert info, we have like primary, secondary, info, success, light. You can give different colors, right? Now you can use some alert link as well. For example, I'm taking p and this time I'm saying lorem 10 tab, and here I want this particular word to be a link. So I will be say a and href equals to some hash and class equals to something like alert link. Okay, now this should be inside your a tag. Now let me remove from a from here and just paste, let me paste a here. So I'm gonna say a. Now save it. Now come here and let me give some color to this as well. Class equals to some alert primary. Now we got something like this, right? Let me check what mistake we are doing. It's a, let me give some space. Okay, fine. Now see, now we are getting this as a link. Now you can click here. This is because now this a single word is coming in a different color, right? Now this represent it is a link. So this is how we can do alert link as well. So this is the concept of your alert primary, alert link. We have more to alert dismissible and data dismiss in the button. So let's try these two, but I want these two features will be telling in some other session while doing the project. Okay, so we are going to keep as a pending, but you guys try it. You guys try and analyze what it is going to do. Alert dismissible, and this data dismissing button means this should be inside your button tag. You can like do googling and you can understand how it works. So it will help, like if you don't know some concept, how can you google, how can you find? So that confidence also you guys are going to get. So just try and search this one. Apart from this, you guys have an assignment, like you guys have to like do what is badge. Now using badge, what we can do, already I have mentioned the classes. Now you just have to go through the get bootstrap. In the components you will have a badge, then just see what is that badge. So if you wanted to see, it's very easy. So let me show again. So let me come here, and this time let me say let me create a button. So I'm going to create some button, and let me give some class equals to btn and btn info, right? Or else let me give btn success and something like login, some name I gave to the button. So how it is going to look like? Now we got a button something like login. Now if I say something like here, some span I'm using, and here I'm saying class equals to badge. Okay, and badge primary. Let me close it and let me close the span. Now see how it is going to look like. Now this is the button and we said something like this. Now we got badge here, right? Now just see the login, how you are going to get here. Now suppose now if you say something like, let me come here, batch bill. Okay, now see how the batch bill is going to look like. Let me come. Today we are doing so much mistakes here. So this is batch bill. Now we got it in a circle. Now this is about the batch, but practically why we have to use the batch, I just intentionally gave you, like I didn't explain you properly this batch because I want you guys to understand what this concept look like, and you guys have to understand why we use for this batch in the real time. So it normally uses like if you create a button login, and here I create a login and here I wanted to mention some badge, some kind of badge, right? For that purpose we use this kind of batch kind of classes. So it's very important, so you guys have to just explore this batch and these two things, alert dismissible and data miss in button. That is nothing but a div is going to be created, like one box will be created like box, and here one cross button will come. So once you click on that cross button, this div is going to dismiss. So that's the concept. So that's you guys practice, just try, just do little bit R&D. So you are going to understand. Okay, this is all about today's session, guys. So we are going to see next session on the Monday at the same time. And guys, one important thing I wanted to explain you, like I have uploaded all the code in GitHub repository. Now, if you want that code, you can download it. So how to download? Let me explain you. So in the description, you are going to find the links like GitHub links for HTML separate repository, for CSS separate repository, all that. So here I have provided these links, right? You will find these links in your video description. So what you have to do, you have to just copy this, go to your browser and just paste here. Okay, now you are going to come to the GitHub page. Now here, now this is the project, right? We have did the project 1 and this is the project 2 CSS, this is a project 2 HTML file. Now if you wanted to download this file, just you have to click on this code button. I hope you are able to see the code. Just click here and just say download. Now once you click on this download, you are going to download entire files in this in zip. It will be downloaded as a zip. Now you have to extract that so that you can use it. Now in the same way, now suppose you want HTML. Now we have the HTML, right? Now just copy this link. This link will be present in your description, video's description, and just go here and just paste and enter. Now I have provided all the files that we have did in the HTML. Okay, even I have provided the images that we saw images, right? So in HTML, I think we didn't prepare any notes, but for CSS we have prepared. So let me come here. For the CSS, the same process, copy it and paste. Now this is the CSS. Now you can see here repository name. So this is all about your CSS, and I have provided our notes, right? So we were just notes. It's not like any detailed notes, like only the topics that we have covered. So how we are writing in this Bootstrap as well. So I didn't upload this file. So this file will be uploaded after today's session. Okay, so that it will be very easy for you guys to refer. Okay, we have covered this topic. So whenever you wanted to do revision, instead of watching again the video, you can just go and understand. Okay, this is the, okay, for cards we have this classes, we have learned, we have this, and still if you wanted to know more, just go to the Bootstrap documentation and just follow it, and just get the habit of reading the documentations. Because in future, if you are going to get some new framework or a new technology, that time you should be able or capable of reading documentation and understanding from it and learning by yourself. Okay, or else you wanted to teach someone, right? So first of all, you have to learn that technology, you have to work on that technology, so you have to learn that from the official documentation. So in this way you have to do. So more, I think, two sessions in the Bootstrap. Once we have done with this, we will be closing Bootstrap, and we will be doing the projects on Bootstrap, HTML CSS, including these three. So I'm planning to do 3 projects, so we are totally, it will be 5, one more in CSS, I think, mm, or else like we will be doing 5 or 3 in the JavaScript. So that would be best, right? So we will be starting JavaScript once we're done with this Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is easy, just you have to understand the classes. Okay, now once you go to that Bootstrap website, you are going to find even code there. Just according to your requirement, just you have to change your codes. That's all. So that's all guys for this session. Thank you for watching the video.